Hello, my name is Drexan and welcome to another Monster Hunter World video. This is the first in my new series, Monster Breakdowns, where I go over everything you could possibly want to know about a monster, from its strengths and weaknesses to tips for taking it down. Today, we're starting at the beginning, with the bloater, the gluttonous glutton, the great Jagras. The Great Jagras is one of the smaller monsters in the game, as he is the tutorial monster. He is considered a fang wyvern. It is the pack leader of the Jagras. When hungry, Great Jagras are known to attack monsters even stronger than themselves. It balloons to unbelievable proportions after swallowing prey. He can be found in the ancient forest. As you can see on the right side of the screen here, the Great Jagras is weak against the fire element, meaning it will do the most damage, and is immune to the water element, meaning it won't take damage from that element. Thunder and ice are also good choices, but not as good as fire, and dragon is the worst choice, other than water that is. So basically, fire is the optimal damage type, and avoid water at all costs. Now moving down to the status ailments, the Great Jagras is weak against all 5 status ailments: poison, sleep, paralysis, blast, and stun. So a weapon with any of these is pretty viable. However, remember that every time you apply a status to a monster, the monster's threshold for that status increases, making it harder for you to apply it again. The Great Jagras has 3 different breakable parts: on its head, its stomach, and both of its front legs. Its head and stomach are the easiest to break, with 3 stars in all 3 types of damage: slashing, impact, and ranged, where its legs are 2 stars in every type of damage. Now, the Great Jagras doesn't have very many moves, since it is the first monster you fight. He has a swipe that he can perform with either hand that has short range and is slow to come out, making it easily dodgeable, a tail attack that he almost never uses that is also slow and easy to dodge, along with a few bite attacks that can vary in the amount of times he bites and the distance he travels while doing so. There is a simple lunging bite, a double bite lunge that covers quite a bit of distance, and a full charge attack that covers the most distance. Whenever he stands on his hind legs for a second, you want to watch out and dodge out of the way. This is his knockdown attack, and if he hits you with it, he goes into the animation that looks like he's eating you. While in this animation, you want to make sure that you're moving away from him and spamming dodge, because if you don't, the Great Jagras will eat an item out of your inventory. At some point during the fight, the Jagras will probably swallow another monster and gains a completely different moveset. He gains a belly slam. You'll know he's using this because all you'll see is his massively bloated stomach, and he'll try to crush you with it. It has decent range, and if you're not paying attention, he will hit you with it. He also gains his only true ranged attack, a spit that barely does damage and he almost never uses. It is very fast, however, and if you're not expecting it, he can hit you with it. The last move he gets is a roll to the side that has decent damage and range, but isn't anything special. He does get a new charge, but it's basically the same as the old one with just an animation swap, so it's not really worth breaking down. Now, just because the Great Jagras is quite weak, doesn't mean that he has less drops than any other monster. It has 4 carves: the Great Jagras Scale with 5 stars, the Great Jagras Hide with 4 stars, the Mane with 3, and the Claw with 4. Meaning that whenever you carve the monster after you kill it, these are the materials you'll get, with scales being the most common, followed by hides and claws, and the rarest being manes. The rewards, which are all the things you get at the rewards screen after the hunt, are the hide, scale, mane, and claw, along with iron ore and small monster bones, with the claw now being the rarest at 2 stars and the hide being the most common at 5. However, that's not all. If you break pieces of the monster, it gives you a higher chance of getting certain rewards from the rewards screen, and whenever you break the part, it has the chance to drop the material associated with it. The head is the mane, the chest is the hide, and the legs give claws. Now the drop material is for if the monster drops a material but you didn't break apart. This most often happens in turf wars between two monsters. Now the next section is about a later section of the game, so this is your only warning if you don't want to hear it before you get there. So spoiler warning now. In high rank, the Great Jagras only gets one new move, and this is the dashing roll, as I like to call it. It combines his standard dash with the sideways roll he gets when he has his stomach. However, he can only perform this move if he has his stomach expanded. He also tends to use his standard dash more in high rank, as it is a better version of the earlier dashes that comes out quicker and covers more distance. I won't be explaining the change in names in high rank, because if you're still here, you either are already in high rank or simply don't care. Now, the carves are pretty much the same as they were in low rank, except now they've all got some fancy plus signs beside them. It's lost the ability to drop iron ore from the rewards and small monster bones, and instead now drops Monster Bone Plus. The breakable parts are the same as before with the addition of the plus signs where they are necessary. Now before I leave you to go hunt all the Great Jagrases in the entire Ancient Forest, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks that'll help you along the way. Because of its weakness to every ailment, if you're using a ranged weapon, you can use ammo and apply multiple statuses over time, or multiple statuses at the same time. If you have poison ammo and let's say paralysis ammo, you could poison him and then paralyze him at the same time, and then use something like cluster bomb ammo to deal a lot of damage in a very short amount of time to him. Breaking his chest, while it has been enlarged, will give you a ridiculous knockdown window that's almost double the normal knockdown window, and he'll lose the stomach, returning him to normal form. So if you really don't like fighting him while he has his stomach out, I know I prefer it when he has his stomach out because he's a lot easier to hit then, because he's a lot bigger of a target. But if you don't like it, you can focus on his chest area right in front of him, and eventually it'll break and you'll get to fight him in his normal form again. There aren't many skills that directly help with the fight, like fire resistance or poison resistance, because the Great Jagras doesn't have any of those abnormal things. So building for stun resistance just to be safe, and a few other generic useful skills like quick eating is probably the way to go. And that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this helps you hunt the Great Jagras in the future. I will be releasing videos for all of the monsters eventually. I'm just gonna go straight down the hunter's manual from top to bottom, so if you have a specific monster you want me to hunt, I will get to it eventually, so don't worry. It just might take a little while longer if you want me to cover like Elder Dragons, just because I haven't fought them that much yet, so I need more time to figure out their moves and stuff like that. In any case, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you want to see any of the other monster breakdowns, make sure you subscribe, and as always, my name is Drexan, and I will see you all in the next video.